number 3, we do have captioner, we do have voice interpreters, we do have CDIs available. If you need to avail yourself to any of those accessibility features, go right ahead and do so. You can click CC at the bottom of the screen to pull up the captions, and you can do those while you're also doing the presenter. If you wanted to have the CDIs, you can go ahead and have Rachel or Priscilla. If you would like to have voice interpreting, you have Lori and Selena. And later on, if you have questions, you are able to use those interpreters to speak the questions for you, sign them for you, whatever the case may be. And if you have any questions along the way, please go ahead and click the raise hand icon, or you can send a private chat to either Michelle, actually, to me, Kavita, or to Jermaine, or you can raise your hand using the icon, and we will hold the presentation to make sure the questions have been answered, and we will make sure that either we turn the camera spotlight on you so that you're able to come on screen and sign your question, or type it in the chat and have the CDI interpret that for you. Thank you very much. All right, now we're ready to proceed with our first report, which will be from your president. Okay, if you could go ahead and start the presentation. Oh, you want me? I'm trying to show my PowerPoint, so if you could bear with me a moment. All right, thank you. Okay, so next we're thrilled to be co-hosting DQRCC, and this is an event hosted for April 17th. Please go ahead and register. It is free of charge to you. It's going to be a celebratory week of recognizing LGBTQ elders during this particular week. I do apologize. Please bear with us. Our PowerPoint is having some technical issues. Okay, so again, once more, this will be held on April 17th. It's a recognition week, a celebratory event for our LGBTQ elders. We do have a wonderful panel of elders here. So go ahead and take advantage of this free registration. You can see on the slide how to register, let your friends know. We really want to take time to recognize them, our LGBTQ elders. Go into the next slide. So this is just for today. Our agenda for today, 9 to 12, we have Q&A after every report. Going on to the next slide. This is just a little bit of a fun slide showing our past presidents all the way back to 1906 until today. Going on to the next slide. So this is our agenda for today. These are the people and the positions that we will be recording. And on to the next slide. next up will be the President's report. You can turn that off. Hello, good morning, everyone. Before I begin my report, I would like to post a quote for you to see. Unity is strength. When there's teamwork and collaboration, wonderful things can be achieved. This quote is from Maddie Stepanek. And here's my report. I attended DRI committee, led a screening to evaluate interpreters for task force, attended a waiting interpreting media meeting, California EHDI Symposium Planning Committee for this year, January and February. CAD and CalEd agreed on an MOU and signed that regarding their collaboration. Hosting several different CAD platforms regarding various topics. And appointing Dr. Leanne Osborne as our CAD PR. Two important bills that we have worked on so far. The first one being AB 2257. Before it was AB 5, but then it switched over to become 2257. And here's a summary of that bill. This bill was already passed in September 2020 and signed into law by the governor. The focus of this bill was on independent contractors. They have to be hired as full-time employees, but there is an oversight because we have many freelance interpreters who are already independent contractors, but are not yet RAB certified. With this new bill, AB 2257, these interpreters are required to become certified by RAB. We here at CAD and the Deaf Coalition need to follow up with EDD, the one to oversee this new law, to see if we can be more flexible for our deaf interpreters as well as our hearing interpreters. If you're curious and want to learn more about this, we do have a link provided here for you. And you can take a look here and see who's a part of the committee for the AB5 Coalition. This second picture here shows me signing as I'm showing the letter that was sent to Governor Gavin Newsom. And here's your link for that video below. And the second bill is SB 692. This is a recent development. And you can see the law here that we have presented by Nanette Durrani-Guide, who's the president of CalEd, as well as myself, where we go into depth explaining the bill. This again is a recent happening, and I did want to give some more information in my report regarding this bill. CAD, Deaf Coalition, CalEd, Hands and Voices, and DRC met with the author of this bill. All of our organizations agreed to have it amended, and the senator also agreed to accept our recommendations. As of this very week, the bill has changed. The bill will be heard this Wednesday in front of the Senate Education Committee. Again, that's this Wednesday at 9 a.m. We're awaiting confirmation for our deaf and hard of hearing accessibility for our testimonies. If you're wanting to know more information about this particular bill, here's the link for you to review. October, NAB hosted their virtual COR, Committee of Representatives from all across the United States. They sent representatives to the NAB convention. Our representatives included myself, Ming Shin Yi, Alexis Bravo, and our alternate was the Vice President, Jermaine Cornish. The four of us were able to attend for the complete 4 days, as well as the fifth day held on October 25th. There were 5 priorities that came out of these convention meetings, and here they are. CAD also hosted a symposium January and February of this year with 4 different topics. We did want to thank NorCal Lead K Family Services because they co-sponsored this event. We were able to collaborate with CSDF, CDE, Cal Ed, Hands and Voices, Gallaudet University, Regional Center West, and we wanted to offer special thanks to our tech support, our registration team, the ASL interpreters, and captioners. Without them, we would not have been able to make this happen.
And I want to thank everybody, especially the presenters, the panelists. They're shown above right here. And so with everybody on our team working to make this happen, we just wanted to thank all of you, everybody who's been involved, who's been working with us so far. Hi, does anybody have any questions related to my report? Anybody? Any questions? With the laws, AB 692, or the other law, the bill that was up for being passed? Anybody? So if nobody has any questions, oh, I see 1, 2, 3. No questions at the count of 3. Okay. I guess we can move on to the next slide. We can move on to our Vice President's report. And Jermaine is saying, hello everybody. Hi, my name is Jermaine Cornish. I'm the Vice President of CAD. I'm thrilled to be serving here on our board. We have a wonderful team. They're all team players, and my hat's off to everybody because they've been working hard to make sure that the community of California is served. So, this is what we've been doing for the past 6 months. Maybe you are unaware, maybe you are in the know. We have some positions, and we're giving them platform so we can bring the community together. We did have a state meeting in September of 2020, and the board is just going to commit to continuing their positions for a while. We had that meeting on Facebook Live. We also streamed it on YouTube. I'm just wondering how many of us actually have been involved on our platform. It's been about 10 of us. And I appreciate your contributions. And we've seen on YouTube we've had about 102 viewers. On Facebook Live we've had about 889 viewers, almost 900. So we can see how many viewers we have on each platform. Our subscribers on YouTube, we have 105. and that has increased since. And Facebook, we have 6,537 members. That's throughout the USA, and then there is 1,000 out of the US. It's really exciting, right? In the late fall of 2020, I met with the Central California chapter, and I just wanted to talk with their members and just show them what we're doing to see if we have a mutual understanding of each other. They let me know that they feel like there is no transparency and they felt left out of the loop. Everybody was wondering where our money was going, what we've earned, and they felt like other chapters might have been looking down on them. There was a sense of competitiveness. So they wanted an email, and we just haven't heard an update from them. And we're trying to rebridge our connection with everybody, but we don't want to force anything. And moving on, here at CAD, our board, we have governance training every other Saturday, and we've learned so much in the process about our expectations, about transparency, and I want to say thank you to Minka Pata for training us. In the past 6 months, I mean, we've been working on so much, meeting with different people in the task force, making different commitments, and it's just been a 6 months that we've spent together. Obviously, we haven't met in person quite yet. And so I do want to thank everybody who's been involved, who's volunteered, and worked with CAD, worked with our foundation. I'm looking forward to many things going ahead, and I thank you for your contribution and for everything that you are doing. And again, thank you for listening. Kavita is saying hello again. Do we have any questions related to our Vice President's report? Anybody? So again, I'm going to count it off. 1, 2, any questions? Any questions? I guess on the count of 3, we'll see if there is no questions and we will move on. Okay, we can move on to our next report. We can have our secretary's report. That is Michelle Foss, and again, as I mentioned earlier, she is not present today, but she didn't have any reports. So I guess we can move on to the next part of our presentation because she did not have a report. And so moving on, we have our treasurer, Jody Ellis. Hello everybody, it is me, Jody Ellis. I am the CAD treasurer. Here is our financial report for the year of 2020, that is January through December. You can go ahead and show the report here. And first we wanted to report our general fund, what we had through upkeep of the organization, support from other organizations like CalEd, membership earnings, different expenses as you can see here, insurance funds that go to retreats that support our board, our NAD memberships, upkeeping our website. Our total expenses are, I'm so sorry, $14,457. And then after that, we had a transfer from our endowment budget that was approved last year. That was $40,065. And we had some transfers between accounts from our youth leadership at Wells Fargo. And we had some funds from community fundraisers, like the DCRA meeting, and then also we had some funds that we used for interpreting. And at the end, you can see the balance that we had at the ending balance, which was $50,773. And I will explain a little bit more of that. The EHDI, or Education Symposium, that happened on January 11th. They hosted an event, and also they had donations for the 2021 symposium. But we can show the donations here. And the ending balance was $5,639. And so we have not received the AR yet. And so there was a balance of about $7,000. So I suppose CAD supported the symposium for about, I'd say, 50% of the cost. The AHGI was very successful. They used the webinar format. But anyway, this is about 2020, so we can move on. And so these are our new programs. I mean, because of coronavirus and the pandemic, we created this platform, used the webinar function to host workshops. We have our tech experts, and through all of these innovations, we have been successful. We've also been trying to fundraise, procure donations from people. And so we had 845 in donations. A lot of people did donate through the website, so that incurred fees. And we were able to offer honorariums for our presentations. Our interpreting services did have some cost at that. Some of our interpreters were volunteers, some were paid. But the ending balance for that was $294. If we hosted any workshops or webinars, our income was, from the donations, $7,600. Registration for that cost was $702. And our expenses were about, if we take off the service fees, and again, that's because people were donating through the websites. And then we have our honorarium. Again, interpreting services listed below, $825 for workshops and webinars. And the ending balance for that is listed on our PowerPoint. And this is a graph of where our earnings come from. So through CAD memberships, we have about 11%. That's where we earn. And then through donations, that is about 53%. And through registration, we have about 36% of our earnings. So if you're wondering where our expenses are going, and we do have the people that we donate to, that we sponsor, like CalEd, Fremont School for the Deaf, we sponsor some of their weekends. And through our donations and sponsorships, our expenses are 17%. Through honorariums, we use about 2%. Booking hotels, halls, or meeting rooms, we use about 16% of our expenses. Our insurance is 9%. Interpreting services about 21%, and that's important because we want to make sure we maintain access for all. Meals and catering is about 13%. We have miscellaneous and administrative, that's about 12%. And then there is also travel, which is 6% of our expenses. And the website costs us 4% of our expenses. It is an old website, and we have just hired somebody to design our new website, a very friendly volunteer, so that we can update our website and make it user-friendly. Our old website is not very user-friendly, so look forward to that. But that is not included in this report. That will be included in a report for next year. So this is our chapter report in regards to expenses. You can see the different balances listed here. There's not been a lot of activities in relation to them. For CAD North, the ending balance is $1,514. For CAD Central, $1,320. CAD South, $1,220, and CAD Youth, $1,390 as the ending balance. And for our restricted funds, this is not what we will use for last minute expenses at all. We will save it for CalEd. We have about $5,953 for the ASL celebration. And so that was part of the Lexington ASL celebration. And so you can see here listed below for the home office patron, there was a little bit of interest earned. That was not that much. And then also, again, there's some expenses listed here below. And then there's also the endowment. That's going to be expanded upon in the trustees report. But we did show a transfer of funds. And that is a transfer from the endowment. And it was about 3.25% of the budget withdrawal of the endowment. And so, because of the pandemic, we weren't expecting that much change for this.
This report shows the special funds of CAD as a fiscal agent. As a nonprofit organization for the deaf community, the state of California does recognize us as a nonprofit. But the organization, if we need help, as a nonprofit status organization, we are able to link up with other organizations such as DeCara. We were able to participate in that fundraiser. We were able to provide information as latent interpreters for COVID-19 information. And we had to provide equal access, of course, for communication, making sure everyone understood the COVID-19 information as it was presented. So the total that we collected from that was $16,305 from donations and sponsorships, etc. After we took in that amount, we had expenses for graphics, for interpreting, to pay service fees and other miscellaneous fees for video editing, and all of that came to $10,046 as an expense. The AR we have not yet received. We will be receiving that in 2021, but it has not yet been received. We're approximating that to be $2,000 with the ending balance of $2,596. Going on to the next slide. This graph here shows the total amount of money that CAD has pertaining to which accounts. We have accounts receivable, we have the general fund from the symposium, the North chapter, the workshops and webinars, shows you what our balances are. And these will probably be expanding for the year 2021. So if you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. Going on to the next slide. Thank you so much for watching. Hello again, everyone. Are there any questions related to the fiscal report? If you could hold on 1 second with the slides, please. I do apologize. Someone in tech clicked to move on to the next slide. If you could hold that for 1 moment, though. Okay, so are there any questions related to Doty's treasurer report? Any questions out there? Okay, so who has a question? I will copy sign this. What an amazing report. I love the visual effects of the pie charts. Thank you so much, Doty. So are there any questions related to anything that we've said so far? We've worked very hard to produce this to make it more visually appealing, easily understandable for people in the CAD community. And so we do want to say thank you to Doty for creating her report. Any questions? Is there another one? Okay, seems that there are no more questions at this point, so we'll go on to our next presentation and our next report. Hello, everyone. I am CAD Membership Director, and my name is Sharon Go. Here's my sign name. My responsibilities include membership registration, expired memberships, and following up with people who have their memberships expired. For my report, I want to share what's transpired between my last one and this one. There have been a couple of changes in the last few months. How many people are signed up for our organization? In my last report in September of 2020, there were 192 memberships. Currently, there are 307 accounts with memberships. That's quite an increase. People who are not members would have signed up for an account and perhaps have made donations. In the year 2020, there were 118 people. Currently, there are 68. So there has been a decrease. Why, you might ask? We say COVID-19. People tend to go to deaf events in person, go to town halls. They're able to mix and mingle with people, offer their support and contributions. And now, due to COVID, that has indeed fallen by the wayside. What type of people are involved in our organization here at CAD? I'd like to show a comparison between our September 2020 membership and our current membership. You can see the pie charts that are here on the screen. The green indicates 73% in the year 2020 of people aged 31 to 54. That comprises the bulk of our membership. That has now dropped off a little to 72%. That doesn't mean that our numbers have shrunk, because as you can see in the purple portion of the pie chart, more people have signed on at a different age group. The green means there's still people who have registered at age 31 to 54, but age 55 and up, our membership has increased. In the purple, you can see last time there were 17.7% of senior citizens in 2020, that being people age 55 and up. In 2021, we've noticed that senior citizens age 55 and up, that has gone up to 17.9%. The light blue here represents our youth. In 2020, there were 6% in the light blue that represented people aged 18 to 30. And now we've gone up again to 6.8%. The red slice represents 0.7%. And that's the red pie chart color. These are people in 2020 who were non-coalition organization. That means, for example, deaf people who joined from CAD, from Deaf Hope, from Southern California Asian Deaf Association. Now that 0.7% has gone up to a full 1%. The light green shade here, which represents small and mid-sized businesses in 2020, was 0.7%, just a small piece of the pie. These represent organizations like California Home for Adult Deaf, CHAD, and FEAST, FEAST. That's the culinary school and an event production company. That's a small business that is part of our organization. That percentage has now increased. As you can see in the dark blue piece of the pie, in 2020, 1.4% represented our organization membership as the California Coalition of Agencies. For example, GLAD, Greater Los Angeles Agency on Deafness, and Central Valley for Deafness, CODIE, the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services Center, Orange County Deaf Equal Access Foundation, OCDEF, the Tri-County GLAD. That 1.4% has now increased to 1.6% of our membership. The orange slice in 2020 was represented by 1.4% of our membership. These are home office patrons. For example, let's say we need registration tags or bulletins, name tags, labels, different types of office supply needs like that. People tend to donate these items. Now it's gone down to 0.3%. If if you're wondering the difference between the North, Central, and Southern California regions, as well as out of state, what's the difference in membership registration between these 4 areas? I'll show you right now. In our last report in September 2020, till now, how have those numbers changed? In Northern California in the year 2020, we had 125 members. Currently, that stands at 133. Central California membership in the year 2020 was 15 members, and now we're up to 16 in 2021. So we've increased by 1. In Southern California, last year, we had 131 registered members. Now we're up to 144. Out-of-state membership has stayed the same for both 2020 and 2021 with 1 person. We don't only focus on membership, but we focus on offering assistance with deaf events and volunteers. For example, with the Educational Symposium, we helped out with registration, with check-in, making sure that the names of the registrants matched who showed up. We participated in webinars. We were able to listen to what people wanted, what improvements they wanted to make in deaf education, and the lives of the deaf children who we serve. The CAT platform every Thursday. We help behind the scenes, making sure things flow smoothly between Facebook and what's happening on the platform, on Zoom. And we also have a special committee, which is comprised of Jermaine Cornish, our vice president, Alexis Bravo, our youth director, and the website development and improvement, which also includes myself. Our current website is something that the 3 of us have looked at and discussed in terms of what types of improvements we want to make. There are many deaf people who have provided feedback saying, letting us know what works, letting us know what does not work as far as our website goes. We have here Amy Grindrod. This is her sign name. You can see her work through different organizations around the communities. We interviewed her and were impressed with her knowledge of software, her knowledge of platforms, and she does understand our needs. She has quite a bit of professional work experience, and so we decided to go ahead and hire her. She began March 2021 as our website developer. Jermaine, Alexis, and we did meet with Amy to discuss what we're looking forward to as far as website development. We want to have different types of content, what we want to delete, what we want to save, what we want to transfer over to our new website as it's growing and being developed. And here are some of our goals. We want to make things more visual. We want to have easy access for our website. We want to include more themes related to our needs. And our new website will be set to launch when? Amy let us know that the website is ready, and I'll be happy to share with you that our target date I'll keep you guys posted. If you take a look at the news, keep your eyes ready, and we'll let you know when. Thank you for your continued support during these difficult times. And goodbye, everyone.
And Kavita is saying, hello again, everybody. Is there any questions related to what our membership director's report about membership, anything at all? Any questions related to her report about the website launch? Anything? Any questions? No, there aren't any questions relating to the previous report. I do see a question, or a comment rather. It's from Marla saying, another impressive report. Thank you, Sharon. Any other questions for Sharon relating to her report? I'll count it out. 1, 2, 3. Nope, no questions. We can move on to our next slide. So the next slide is about the North Chapter. There is no vacancy. And we'll move on to Ming Chen's report. And Ming Chen is saying, hello, hi, my name is Ming Chen Yang. I am the CAD South at-large director. We have our social media broken down to 3 different things. We have Facebook, Instagram, and also eBlast. We use MailChimp for that. We're involved in different platforms. We use Canva to create the flyers. We design it and then we're able to share it on our social media or use it to post our presentations. We also can use that in our platform and everything. While we're live streaming on our platform, we do have behind the scenes. I am a moderator for behind the scenes. If we're going from Zoom to Facebook, and we could just facilitate that so that it is broadcast to the general audience. So I do help with the CAD platform. And then we also have our educational symposium. Again, we're helping with registration, check-in, make sure everybody is matched up to their Zoom rooms and that is working out for them. Again, we've been using the CAD platform that helped out with our educational symposium. And I just wanted to tell you guys that I have very exciting news. We finally got a CAD South youth person, and this is Raquel Espinoza Ortega, or Taz. And this is her sign name, Taz. We're looking forward to working with Taz and having her team up with Alexis Bravo and also Richard Reyes. We want to see their vision for the future. Thank you guys. Bye. And Kavita is saying any comments or questions in relation to the CAD South representative or any comments in relation to having a CAD South youth representative who is going to be Taz. She has wonderful visions for the future, and we do need youth to be more involved. They are our future leaders, so perhaps they're going to be CAD president. Who knows? Any questions related to our previous presentation? If there are no questions, we can move on. So this will be Alexis Bravo. There is no report for Alexis Bravo, however, at the moment. Moving on, we can go to the next slide, please. And our next report is from Roberto Cabrera. Roberto is saying, I am from the Deafblind Task Force. I did want to tell you 3 things. First is DeCara got another grant to continue training in curriculum development for Co-Navigators, formerly known as support service providers. And our goal is to finish by the end of this year. And then we're also going to be working on website development and statewide training. So all of this money that we've received is amazing. And again, we're working on our website and training statewide. So that way, everybody throughout California has training for co-navigation. And it has been a process because of the DeCara staff. There has been several issues that have come up. I hope that they are resolved so that we can focus on supporting and uplifting the deafblind community. And there is a timeline that we have to complete all of this by. So we're in that process. The second thing I want to talk about is the Co-Navigator task force. There's been different goals that we've held for the Co-Navigator task force. One of them was to receive funding through grants. Another goal that we've had is to pass legislation. So we've had a legislative task force that is part of our Co-Navigator task force that works on receiving grants for deafblind individuals to receive services, programs, whatever needs that we might have, we can provide those. So again, we have our legislative task force. We've been looking for people who are skilled in legislation and writing legislation. And we're reaching out to you, our sister agencies. Come and support us. We do meet up every month, and our leader is Chad Metcalf. And again, we've had a lot of support. We need more support to develop our program here in California. So if you're interested in being involved and supporting us to write some legislation, please contact us. And the third thing that I want to talk about is, again, we're announcing through interpreter agencies. Obviously, we value our language. We want to provide interpreting services for deafblind individuals, but also co-navigation for deafblind individuals. So if you're going to the doctor, if you're going to the store, you might need a co-navigator, you can request one. And we see this mostly happening in Southern California. There are some co-navigators in Central Valley and some in the Bay Area, but there is a very high demand that we have, and there is not enough co-navigators available. So we need to pull in more people for that. We have to expand our pool of co-navigators. And now deafblind people are involved in that training for co-navigators. So again, we're inviting people to come in. And we have about 8 new co-navigators that have completed their 10 hours of training, both virtual and in person. So having 8 new co-navigators is great. There is new co-navigators throughout the state, one in San Francisco, a couple in the Riverside area. And so we are very thrilled to have more people and have this be more widespread knowledge. And again, we're trying to use DeCara to help us make this statewide. And we need to make this progress for deafblind people. We have a couple of people who are leading it, myself, Haley Broadway, Elias Davia, and Kimberly Hahn. We've been very involved in trying to advocate and spread the word for co-navigation and the deafblind community, so my hats are off to my other leaders. I'll pass it off to you guys. And Kavita is back saying hello again. Any questions related to Roberto's presentation, the deafblind group, anything at all? I'm really impressed with how active the deafblind community has been, and just reaching out and trying to grab the advocacy that they need. And we can't afford to just neglect the deafblind community. We're so excited to have Roberto on our task force. I am thrilled to have him. Any questions for Roberto? We can move on to our next slide. So our senior citizen task force, Kevin does not have any, Kay Vincent does not have any report. We can move on to the next slide, please. So there is, for the interpreting task force, a vacancy. If you'd like to fulfill that, please let me know. And now we have our mental health task force presentation. And Noelle King is saying, hello, I am Noelle King. I am part of the mental health task force. And so throughout summer and fall in the state of California, we've been looking for a specialist in mental health services for the deaf and hard of hearing population. And California is a very large state. And we were thinking of setting up a Facebook group that is private so that we can get people who are deaf, hard of hearing, or hearing who sign to be involved with family therapy, counseling, etc. And we want to set that up so you can meet each other, provide resources, have ideas, references. And this was an idea we had last fall. We decided to set up an event. It was a meet and greet. Our first event was on January 25th. It was pretty successful. We were able to meet and greet each other. That was different people from Northern California, Southern California. There is going to be another, there was another event held in March on the 26th. If you have any information in regards to this, please contact me. We're always looking for new people to join in, to add to our list, especially for here in the state of California. Not only that, we also set up another group. We do need a mental health task force team so that we can develop everything. So those of you who are interested and want to join in on this mental health task force, please do. We need more people. Feel free to contact us. We've been hosting meetings. We've had about 11 meetings so far, and we look forward to more in the future. We're just trying to get everybody's vision for the future of our task force. And so through the task force, please do expect to meet and discuss topics such as insurance, access to services, funding, therapy, counseling services, licensure, certification. We're trying to discuss where our priorities lie. And so that's what's going to happen in our task force. Hopefully, we can set up an official mental health task force by May. We do not have one right now, so we are looking for your ideas, names, referrals, any information at all. So we look forward to working with you and getting your feedback. Thank you. Hello, everybody. This is Kavita again. Is there anything in relation to our last presentation about the mental health task force? Any questions at all, comments? I'm really thrilled to have both of the people in our mental health task force to be on. Mental health is vital, and we need to focus on that. Again, that's not something we can neglect. Because of the pandemic, mental health has been a priority for us. Emotions have been a priority for us. So we really need to set up a way for you all to be involved with us and our mental health task force. So if you're interested, you have a passion in that field, please contact our two persons from our mental health task force. Please do. And thank you for your report. So I'm going to take a little bit of a moment to pause so that we can switch with another captioner. So we're going to hold for a moment so we can switch out our captioners. Bear with us and thank you.
It seems the switch was successful. Thank you very much for your patience with us. Going on to the next slide, please. We have Richard Ray up next. This report is related to real-time texting, also called RTT, the pilot project for 911 emergency services. This is for the state of California. Keep in mind, RTT has been upgraded from TTY services. Last fall, September 26th, 2020, California Public Commission on Deafness and Disabilities, the communication program. We are currently recruiting volunteers to assist us with testing of this new service using iPhones, iPads, Androids, whatever equipment that you might have. Here's more information regarding the project. And keep in mind, it might be a little bit delayed because of COVID, but we are hoping to begin and move ahead with the project during the summer or at least by the beginning of fall. The date has yet to be determined for sure. Meanwhile, the National Emergency Number Association has provided our committee with access. We are currently in the process of updating our TTY phone PAL program with new information and documents that focus on the current state of the TTY. We are going to be adding on SMS, short message services, and RTT, real-time texting. This document will assist 911 centers in their managers in the efforts to provide effective text communications to callers who use text messaging. And keep in mind that we do need you to sign up as participants for this pilot program. And that will guarantee that the RTT system is working effectively and appropriately. Please let us know if you're able to participate. You can send me an email to edptatf@cad1906.org. The Federal Communications, FCC, Disability Advisory Committee. The FCC has set up the advisory committee because they're interested in providing advice and recommendations related to disability issues and accessibility. Prior to the FCC setting this up, they were recruiting people and just picking people out. I was included along with 35 other members as experts to provide information services to the FCC. We did host several meetings every 3 months. As of February 18th, 2021, the Disability Advisory Committee had our first meeting for the year. Our focus at that time was on accessibility and communication on an individual level for people with disabilities during the pandemic. We were able at that time to list and discuss certain topics. We were able to share our issues as experts in our own fields, share experiences that we have had with certain topics, and we came up with 4 important takeaways. First, PIP, which is called Picture in Picture for sign language interpreters on televisions. Some states do show the larger version of the presenter, but they only show a small version of the interpreter, which is not clear for everyone who is watching. Because if you have an interpreter in the small box at the bottom of the screen, you're not able to see clearly. So we're working on standardizing and developing a picture-in-picture setup for media that will include visual aids and caption blockers so that we are able to see the sign language interpreter in a proper space. We don't want to have the caption blocking the interpreter's hands as they are signing. Next up, the takeaway was navigation devices. They're not always user-friendly. If you depend on captions, or if you're using what's an automatic generated caption, which those are not always correct, as we all know, those need to be standardized as well. Next up, audio description. Many times there'll be a live press conference happening and it'll be broadcast on social media. Those need to be improved. They need to provide captions for those as well. In addition, that should also include real-time caption. The 4th takeaway is wireless emergency devices. Wireless emergency alert systems do not always provide access for people who rely on ASL, as well as individuals who use different types of languages. They are very much English-based, and those need to be improved. So on our next Disability Advisory Committee, which will be happening soon, it's scheduled for May 20th, 2021. Well, actually, we have yet to decide the exact date, but it will be around that date. So as far as the wireless emergency alert, it's been a year that we've been working on this, trying to devise different strategies. Many of you have continued to experience challenges in receiving information through media as well as through technology. In March 28th of 2018, the FCC did send out a public service notice, and that is docket numbers 1591 and 1594, inviting interested parties to provide comments regarding the feasibility of including multiple content in a wireless emergency alert device, also called a WEA. We took the opportunity to file a report and provide comments and background information concerning different issues, and as well as providing recommendations on the emergency alert systems and information for accessibility for those purposes for individuals who are deaf, who are deafblind, who are hard of hearing. For example, one of the recommendations that we offered was creating a unique website, a web page targeted specifically for accessible messages. And that website would be providing a URL address that is guaranteed to blast information through the WEA, through SMS, or through some other equally effective emergency service system. Once that information is received with the URL address, then they would allow us to go ahead and click on a certain link, and that link would take us directly to the particular web page for that specific incident and have information additionally added in there that would be more accessible in a more accessible format. So that would be very visually appealing. The information is not overwhelming to us in this fashion. That was our recommendation. This unique web page as well could also be including videos where you have people signing using ASL, and include captions as well as audio description. In addition, it also could include other languages. This could be accomplished through a collaboration with U.S. Department of Justice, and we do encourage states and local governments to use the emergency management agencies to accomplish this. My next report is related to the free virtual ASL iPhones and the training associated with that. California Public Transit Community Services, PTOC, their program is called CTAP, California Telephone Access Program. This program offers a free virtual ASL iPhone training. This training, you'll learn how to do several things, such as basic user functions of your iPhone, using Siri via text messaging, and exploring the menu for accessibility, and so much more than that. This training is quite amazing, and it is available on 2 different platforms. You can access it on Zoom, and you have to keep in mind that you must have a computer, a laptop that includes a webcam, as well as internet access for that one. And it's only 4 participants per Zoom meeting for this. Or alternately, you can access it through video phone. Suppose you don't have access to a laptop or a computer with a webcam, you are able to access this training through Sorensen video phones. Keep in mind, Sorensen VRS does have the ability to have group phone calls. You can have 2 participants or even up to 3. The training is divided into 2 portions, and you have to complete both portions to have completed the training. Each time that you meet will be an hour-long training, and you can schedule that in advance on a separate platform. You can do both portions in one day. You can do them on separate days. That's up to you. There's 2 parts to the training. Part 1 covers just the physical and basic functions of your iPhone. For example, how does the iPhone work? Part 2 includes setting up the accessibility features, using the Wi-Fi, and using Siri, and even more. It does require that you have an email to set up communication to coordinate with the trainer. If you have any questions regarding this particular iPhone training in ASL, we do have more information on the flyer here. People who are deaf can use VRS to place the phone call to 866-271-1540. And the message that you find there will lead you into what to do next and how to follow through. Or you can send an email to SMART, SMART, PHONE, phone, TRAINING, training, at ddtp.org. Have fun with the training. Bye. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Are there any questions related to anything in Richard Ray's report? Related to the emergency disaster services? There was quite a bit of information regarding the testing of the alert system, the iPhone training in ASL, or any part of his presentation. They were all very interesting portions. Thank you very much, Richard Ray. Are there any questions regarding that?
Somebody said, oh, it's another amazing report. So, what's the email address to contact for questions about the FCC Disability Committee and the captioning work? Richard, do you mind responding to this comment? Are you there, Richard? Richard, okay, you've answered. Should I spotlight you? So you can contact Richard Ray directly. Richard is going to be providing his contact information, and that way you can use that in order to message him privately. Richard is going to type in the chat for everybody. Richard has typed in the Q&A chat. The email is listed there. So as you can see, Richard Ray provided his email. It is typed there. It says edptatf@cad1906.org. Is there any other questions in relation to Richard's presentation? Okay. Thank you. We can move on to the next slide, please. So this is a CAD media report. They let me know that there is no report that they are going to provide at this moment. Is there any questions in relation to that? Nope, no questions. Okay, thank you. We can move on to the next portion, please. And so Marla can move on to our legislation portion. So Marla is saying, hello, hi, my name is Marla Patrak. I am the policy committee person. I'm the policy committee chair. I have 3 things I do want to share with you. The first is from our last year, January 2020, we did have a symposium. It was an all-day presentation, And the title of that presentation is Rethinking Auditory Deprivation. People typically explain why deaf children have poor language skills, and that's because of auditory deprivation. We disagree with that. We need to reframe their thinking, reframe their language, and not say that it is auditory deprivation. It's because they do not have accessible language. So that's why our title was Rethinking Auditory Deprivation. It was a wonderful symposium. We had a great lineup of speakers. We did publish our proceedings, and they will be released to CAD during the conference this fall. The second thing I wanted to share with you was the Lead K Family Services Symposium. Again, this took place last year, and we were sponsored by NorCal, CalEd, CDE, CSDR, HNB, and GURC. And that is Gallaudet University Resource Center. So it was a 4-webinar series through January and February. It took place over 4 weeks, and our topics were: what is language deprivation? How California is improving language acquisition? What information do parents need from the start? And what does kindergarten readiness mean for a deaf child? And the last point here is, I skipped over one. What information do parents need from the start? So at the symposium, there were 283 families. It was amazing. The numbers were impressive. So again, throughout that 83 people, there were families, educators, deaf advocates, and medical professionals. And we do look forward to our next symposium. We do have them every year. The third thing I wanted to share with you was Dr. Robin Zane. She's the director of the State Special Schools and Services Division, and she's responsible for California Schools for the Deaf, both in Fremont and Riverside, California Schools for the Blind in Fremont, diagnostic centers located in Fremont, Fresno, and Los Angeles. And she is a deaf woman who has been looking over these different areas. She's also partnered with the Special Education Division to ensure that services are provided with exceptional needs under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA. And this takes place in public schools. And the reason why is because our language policies back in 2015, do you remember this report that we gave? There was a list of 5 recommendations. You can see them in orange here. These are our 5 recommendations. Number 5 is, after we receive the language policies report, we can submit that to different areas, different regions, the programs within those regions. And that way we can encourage them to meet up with each other throughout the regions. And we can then get a letter together and submit that to Dr. Robin Zane. So again, we're trying to push this effort for the different regions in California, for the deaf and hard of hearing programs throughout the state of California. That's it for today. Kuvita is saying, any questions? Any questions related to Marla's presentation? We are looking forward to meeting with Dr. Robin Zane. If there aren't any questions, we just want to mention we're excited to work with Dr. Robin Zane in the future and Marla, so we're looking forward to that. Okay. If there aren't any questions, and I just wanted to check in and make sure there aren't any questions so far. If there aren't any questions, I suppose we can move on. We can move on to the next part of the presentation. Thank you, Marla. So the position for deaf employment, there is a vacancy. And so we can move on to ongoing quality ASL. There is no report for them, so any questions in relation to that? If there's no questions, we can move on to the next part of our PowerPoint. We have our communications PR. That is Leanne Osborne. There is no report as of today. If we can move on to our next slide, please. So for our History Preservation Committee, there is a vacancy. We do need somebody to come in and fill that spot. If you're interested in filling that spot, please let me know. Again, as you saw, this last person has no report at the moment. Next slide, please. And we are done with all of our reports. Our meeting is coming to an adjournment. It is very, very early. We're looking forward to seeing what we're doing in the future. Look forward to any announcements for upcoming events, such as what we have here on the PowerPoint, connecting with CAD through the CAD platform. Our topics for these dates are to be announced for April 29th and May 27th, but on May 13th, we have Thomas Holcomb. So please go ahead and write that down on your calendars and register for that event. So again, April 29th and May 27th are to be announced, but please mark all of these dates down on your calendar. Next slide, please. So this is Thomas Holcomb's presentation topic that is bringing the community together, making the interpreting experience better for everyone. So again, please write this down on your calendar. I look forward to you guys participating in this workshop. Next slide, please. Oh, we're done with all of our slides. Okay. We do have one more thing that we haven't posted quite yet, but I did want to announce it to you guys. The CalEd conference coming up at the end of April. Please go to CalEd's website to find that conference. It's really important for you guys. We need to come together as audiologists, teachers, whoever, to work within the CalEd conference and make our voices heard. I believe that is through the 22nd and 24th. So please go ahead and check that out and register for that conference. Let's see, is there anything else? If there are Any other questions? If not, we can move on. I guess we can have all of the board turn on their cameras now. Where is Sarah? Where is Sharon? Sorry. Interpreter clarification. The whole board is here. Thank you, captioners. Thank you, interpreters. Rory and Selena. Also, Priscilla and Rachel, our CDIs. And I just want to thank everybody for coming, watching our presentation today. We have plenty of time, so if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. You can ask one of us or all of us, and I'm sure someone will be able to answer your question because we have so much time left. Somebody said, thank you guys. Oh, I see one more question. It came up. Somebody said, thank you all. And I just wanted to thank all of the board for working together. And again, thank you for all of your reports. I love watching them. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Enjoy your Saturday. Happy Saturday, and see you on April 17th. And then again on the 22nd through the 24th for the Cal Ed conference. And just remember, the workshop on the 17th is free. Again, the 22nd through the 24th, Cal Ed will be having a conference, so please go and join us there. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, guys. Bye.